and we'll get started here on the presentation. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for taking a few moments out of their busy day to join us for our webinar. And today we're going to talk about how document management helps. How can it help your organization? How can it help your departments? How can it help the people within those departments? And hopefully by the end of this presentation, you'll have a few questions. You realize some benefits of where this can help out, and then we can have a conversation with you. At any point in time, if you have any questions, please just raise your hand within the application itself and within the GoToMeeting application, and I will try to stop and answer those. If not, we'll get to them at the very end. So, okay. So I'd like to start out with a little bit about who Beals is and, what our expertise is here in the document management industry. We were founded in 1939, and we are the oldest conversion service bureau within the United States. We have 25 years of experience in document management, and we have hundreds of installs throughout the United States and in Canada. We have experience in all industries, such as manufacturing, health, and education, and within many different departments within each of those industries. Human resources, accounts payable and receivable, proof of delivery, medical records, and student records, just to name a few of them. And we provide some pretty innovative document management solutions and business process automation products. And we do this through a broad range of different vendors that we carry. We offer premise-based and hosted solutions for your document management. All of our solutions have mobile access, so information that you require is available to you not only at your fingertips within the office, but external to your company as well, so while you're traveling. Workflow solutions and e-form solutions for data capture. So not just e-form solutions so it's easy to fill it out because you can type it instead of handwriting it, but making those e-forms intelligent enough so that at the end of the process, we can export that data and input it into your document management system or into your line of business system. We have, as I said, hundreds of clients across the United States. These are just a few of them. But more importantly than our clients, or not more importantly, but just as important as our clients, are our partners. And we feel that they're just as important because they enable us to fit you to a solution versus pigeonholing you or shoehorning you into just one product that we may offer. So we spend a lot of time and effort in going out and finding vendors and partners that not only offer a great product, but also offer a great opportunity of support for us. So not only do you get us in your back pocket, but you get our partners as well. And that allows us to be very successful. A little bit about myself. My name is Kelly Hartman. I am the project manager here at Beals. I actually started out in direct support. I've done a little bit of sales, and right now my project management is my focus here. I am a member of AIM, which is the Association for Information and Image Management. Like I said, I am the project manager for all of our software implementations. So my job is to be the liaison between yourselves, your area manager, and our support team. I've worked in all phases of document management, coming from the support arena. As I said, I've helped to implement, I've done support, and again now I'm your project manager. So what is document management? Document management is the process of handling documents in a way that enables them to be created, shared, organized, stored, and retrieved effectively and efficiently. It's not just the store and retrieve thought anymore, it's the entire process. What happens to a document from either it's created within your organization to the point of where it has to be retrieved at some later point in time. What are the processes that have to take place in order for that to happen? And so you want to ask yourself today, while you're thinking about document management and how it may benefit you, is what is your current paper process and or what is the bottleneck of that process? Is it retrieval and accessibility? Are things difficult to find? Are they not accessible? Are they stored in off-site storage perhaps? How long does it take you to get them if they are? And what's the cost to do that? Is it the approval process? Is it throughout the approval process? Is it sitting on somebody's desk waiting for approval who might be on vacation? Or has it been misfiled? Or, you know, are we not sure who has it in that process? I hit a little bit on space. You know, again, are your documents, are they stored in a warehouse off-site somewhere? Are they stored off-site with a third party? And perhaps there's a charge to store them, but not only to store them, but to get access to them. And then also, I talked about data collection. How are you collecting the data off of your documents to put into your HRIS system or your ERP, into that line of business system? What's the labor? What's the time? And is it efficient? So those are all different types of things that make up document management. Did you know that 21% of productivity is lost because of unorganized paper-based systems? And then it costs about $20,000 a year per worker who is spending time searching for a document, replicating, or reorganizing paper documents. It's a very expensive way to manage your documents. And that 45% of companies report that it takes over a week just to get a contract signed. So if you think about automating your process for signatures, for contractual documents, the document comes in, based on the content of the contract, perhaps we would automatically route it to an individual or to a department. We can put reminders that if the contract or document, whatever it may be, hasn't been signed within a certain time frame, that you get a text message, an email. So there's different types of workflows that we can put on place for all different types of documents. Some of the objectives and benefits of document management. So let's talk about some areas that you could achieve a benefit. You could reduce your lost and misfiled documents. Again, is it on someone else's desk? Is it, you know, just misplaced on your own desk? Has it been misfiled? It got put into the wrong folder or behind, in between folders in a filing cabinet? Is it in a box someplace off-site? That leads you to the next one of providing faster search and retrieval of documents. If it's off-site, you have to make the request. You got to wait for the request to be answered. If you have it at your fingertips, and because it's on your mobile device or it's on your desktop, there's no waiting involved for that. We can reduce the amount of physical space that's currently being used. Again, filing cabinets, file rooms, boxes, warehouses, etc. So now you're talking the space that a server nowadays takes up versus a whole file room, or putting it in the cloud so that you don't even have it stored on premise where it might be taking up, you know, server space and the infrastructure, but you have it in the cloud. Better organization of existing documents. So you can organize these documents and retrieve these documents as you scan them by any index criteria that you want to store it on. Currently, if it's stored in a filing cabinet, it's probably alphabetically or chronologically. What if I could say, you know what, give me all the last names that begin with the letter A. I want this specific document type, and I only want it within this date range. I could go out and search on documents by a combination of any of those much more readily than I could possibly go up and find all the information within a manual paper process. And that leads you right into streamlining the information in the workflow. Again, how do I want to manage my documents? How do I want to approve any documents? Think an onboarding for human resources, the process of those paper documents, the collection of them. Was everything signed? A new onboarding person who's part-time versus a new person who's being onboarded for full-time, they're probably filling out two different sets of documents. Do you have a good mechanism in place to monitor the flow of those documents? AP approval, same thing. What's the flow of the document? And then, of course, allowing instant access to these documents via your desktop, via the web, or again, a mobile device. 7 tips for selecting a document imaging solution. So over the years, we found out what are the top 7 items that really benefit in selecting the proper imaging solution. The first thing you need to do is you need to plan. That is actually, I think, more important than the solution, because to plan it right, that means you're going to get the proper solution. So you have to understand your current process, what works and what doesn't. And we do that with you by coming in and providing a discovery where if I'm doing an AP approval process, I come in and basically, I want to be an invoice. I want to be an invoice that has a corresponding PO. I want to be an invoice that does not. I want to be the exception to the rule. And we literally walk through document and workflow, all of those processes in your accounting if we're talking automating your AP. HR, same thing. What initiates the requisition of a new employee? What does that employee have to fill out based upon not only type of employment, but perhaps the department? Maybe there's different documents that are required within different departments. Second, you want to take in consideration the end user's perspective. Well, of course, it overall impacts the company by saving you money and streamlining your business process. The immediate impact is upon the end user. It's upon your clerk. It's upon the people who are data entering, who are scanning. So you want to take their perspective as well, because it's just as important and can be an integral part of making the proper decision. Capturing your information. Obviously, we can't use it until it's been captured. So how does your data come in? Is it faxed? Is it mailed? Is it in an email? You know, we can work with all of those. We can accept any type. Seriously, the source does not matter. It's how we capture the data so that it's in a workable format. We use OCR technology in many of our solutions, so it's got to be in a readable format. But we can use multifunction devices. We can use desktop scanners. We can recommend apps on your mobile devices that act as a scanner. It'll actually deskew, despeckle, and frame in a document, such as a receipt. If you're out on the road and you're doing your expense report, while you're on the road using this app off your mobile device, you can take a picture of your receipts. It'll gather them for you, and then you can upload them and attach them to your, maybe we created an e-form of your expense report. They can automatically be attached to those. So there's many different ways we can capture. And then, of course, you want to take into consideration space and retention. How do you want to store this? Is it in the cloud? Is it premise-based? Does it have to be separated for HIPAA compliance? Would it have to be separated from other documents? And then what's the retention? Every document carries a retention, normally dictated by the environment. Is it HR? Is it AP? Is it a manufacturing document, et cetera? So you take all of those into consideration, making sure that your solution has the capability to store and retrieve across different platforms, making sure that it has the ability to create a retention schedule for you or assist you in retention. Management features. This comes down to compliance. You know, what is the security? Is there an audit trail function? Does it have workflow? Again, very important items to consider. And also make sure that when you choose a vendor, you're choosing a partner. We're not just selling you something, but we're going to be your partner throughout the entire process. We're going to be with you from beginning to end and then after the implementation. We don't just walk away. We're here for you. We have 25 years of proven experience and successes in the document management arena. And then, of course, it always comes down to the money. It's always about money, and so you want to ensure that the money you're spending is what's best for your company. And so you want to make sure you look at a solution that has a good entry-level product. So you don't want to answer everything at once. That's a very large undertaking. So you want to be able to walk before you run. So an entry-level solution that's scalable. You want to be able to capitalize on your initial investment and build your system off of that. So that was just some information regarding what we can do. And at this point, I was going to see if there was any questions out there. And then following that, I am going to give a brief demonstration on a document solution. The one I'm going to show today is our cloud, one of our cloud solutions, or hosted. So if anybody has any questions, okay, I do see one out here right now. So the question is, if I find that I have what I believe to be a benefit from a document management system, how do I get started? Everybody starts a little bit differently, but the best way to start, or where you start, can be determined by you reaching out to us. Your area manager would give you a phone call and just have a real high-level discussion of where you feel your pain points are, how we can address those, and then where we go from there. Most commonly, following that, we would, if you, for example, called up and it was within your AP, we would give you a high-level generic presentation and discussion of an AP process with an approval process built in, such as a workflow. So we always like to have the discussion first, not assume that we know everything about your company, get some background information, and then we go from there. Any other questions before I start on the presentation? Okay, great. All right, so again, as I was stating, this is one of our hosted solutions. And of course, with all of our solutions, we're always first queried with our credentials. So the most important thing that you can have in a document management system is security. So we want to make sure that we always have logins available. And along with those logins, along with those credentials, are what you have rights to within the system. So you'll see when I log in here, I'm going to have rights because I'm a system administrator, even though this says guest, to all the applications within our demo system. And again, this is just a demo system, but you can see along the side, you might be thinking of these as different departments within your organization. And then within each one, you're going to have different fields that you want to be able to retrieve your information off of. So within each one, I now can come in here and I can do a query. So if I click here on new query, it'll come up, and these are the different fields that this AR department wants to be able to retrieve off of: PO number, vendor name, vendor number, etc. Now keep in mind, based on my credentials, if I didn't have rights to accounts receivable, I would not even see it here in my list. So not only do I have to have credentials to log in, I have to have credentials to specific applications, and then I can also have rights within that application. So maybe I'm a read-only person and all I can do is retrieve so that I can answer questions, or maybe I can retrieve so that I can email as an attachment a requested document. Okay. The other level of security that we have is what we call document level security. And this, I usually use HR as an example. For human resources, there are certain people within the organization that perhaps I don't have rights to look at their HR documents or to a specific document type. So based on my login, applications I have rights to, what my rights are within that application, as well as what documents based on one of the fields. If I look at HR, these are the different fields in the HR application. Based on the fields, I can say I can't see any documents. My login, Kelly Hartman, when I log in, maybe there's 3 employees within the company that I'm not allowed to look. I can list those companies out, and I will never be able to find those documents. Now, just to go through a couple queries for you, again, you can search on any one of these fields. You can search on a combination of these fields. And we also have full text search capability as well that you can turn on. So if I had somebody call in and I just want to look up off of a specific PO number, I could just type in that number, hit my enter key, and it'll come back. Now, if I have one document that meets my search criteria, that document is presented to me. If I had more than one document that met my search criteria, I would get what's called a result set. Now from here, you can see that based on my credentials, I have the ability to print this. I could also email this out. I could, do several different capabilities within the document itself, add annotations, modify the index if my credentials allow me to do so. You'll see that right now I have that little red circle with a line through it. That means I don't have the rights to modify my index. So I can view it, I can see how it was indexed, but I can't modify it. Let's go back out and do another search, a little bit more of a generic search. So now if I come out, and now I want to look up, all of my PO numbers that begin with CV, so we can use wildcards. I also want to look at only when the checks that relate back to that purchase order. So as an example, if I just put in CV right now with an asterisk and hit my run key, I'm going to get 7 different results. Okay. Now if I go back and I refine my search, I want CV, but only give me ones that have a doc type of check. And now I run this. Now I only get 2 results. So I have the ability to go in and refine my search. Okay. And then one more type of search that I wanted to show you was the text search that I had discussed. Let's say I want to look up within my repository for all the blanket POs that I have in place. I can come down here and I'm just going to type the word blanket in here. And now I'm going to hit run. Now you'll see that I have 8 hits. They're different purchase orders. And at any point in time, I can pull up one of these. Okay, here was the first one. And you're going to see, again, this is a demo system. But I don't have to go back out to my result set. I can easily come in here. And you can see that my PO number is changing as I go through. But I have the ability now. I don't have to go out and run another query. I can just sit here and look at everything that met my search criteria. And again, at this point in time, depending on your credentials, you can email, you can print, you can put annotations on a document, etc. So that was just a real high-level document management retrieval system. Okay, just a little bit about the different ways that you can retrieve. And again, given the opportunity to come in and meet with you or to have a discussion with you, we would discuss what it is you wanted to see in a presentation. Eventually, at some point later on down the line, once we've gone through and given you a high-level demo, come in, perhaps looked at a little bit of your process and visited with you, we can always also offer the opportunity to set up an application or a presentation utilizing your own documents. So that concludes our presentation today. And please, if you had any questions, I see I had 2 more questions pop up while I was in the middle of the presentation. I have someone here that is asking about the cloud storage, what I just showed, and they were curious as to what are the benefits of going with a cloud solution or a hosted solution versus an on-premise solution, which would be installed at your facility. In relation to that, probably one of the biggest things regarding cloud storage or hosted solutions versus in-house or on-premise is the fact that you don't require that infrastructure. You don't require the servers and like that. You also, and your IT folks will appreciate this, you don't require your IT resources. Because it's managed in the cloud, it's not managed internally by your IT staff. So that alleviates a burden upon them. You have unlimited users with all of our solutions for a cloud, and you also have no annual software maintenance. So you don't have to have that reoccurring annual maintenance fee. And then one other question here. During the presentation, you mentioned several areas of savings. Where does your biggest benefit come from? Well, honestly, I don't know that until I sit down and talk to you, because I'm not sure what your bottleneck is from. Every company is different. And through our discussions, we'll discover within your own organization or within your own department, where is your biggest savings benefit? Where is your biggest benefit overall, not just in savings, but in time? And yes, time equals money, but sometimes there's a hard dollar savings as well as a soft dollar savings. So those are all the types of discussions that we would get into. Okay, do I have any other questions? Okay, great. What I'd like to do is just real quick, I'm going to bring my contact information back up on the screen. If you have any questions, here's my contact information. Feel free to call or email me. And at that point in time, depending, I can either answer your questions real quick via an email, or I can point you in the direction of your area manager, who would also be happy to reach out to you. Keep in mind, we don't just do the document management storage component of that. We also do consulting. We do document conversion. We have a very large service bureau here where we've actually done scanning for several companies throughout the United States as well. So we offer many different solutions on many different levels, and we would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy day for our webinar today. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.